Hello, this is Dean Phoenix with a quick video just about experience grinding in The Witcher 3. Now, I just have to preface this by saying that basically all of this is based on what CoolHandLuke has done. And so, CoolHandLuke is one of my subscribers, and he'd done a fantastic job at finding or refining rather this experience grind. So it's all about farming drowners underwater, and he found a way to make it sustainable. And he also built on some of the things that I did in my experience grinding video. So previously I thought the best way of doing it was to grind hunt spaces, and you want to be on just the story difficulty because you get 2 experience instead of 3 for each enemy that you kill. And you think, well, you know, fantastic. But the thing that you can actually do is to you can actually make it so that when you kill drowners or monsters, any monsters, you can actually buff the experience to be 3 per kill instead of 2, which is cool. Unfortunately, that means that you can't meditate or anything like that. So you see here, currently I have got the bonus up at the top, well read, which is an experience bonus, and when I meditate, it will get rid of that bonus. So you'd have to go back to Corvo Bianco. So you can't go to Corvo Bianco, then travel elsewhere, meditate, because you'd lose that bonus. But, and here's the big thing. What you can do is you can do that, and then you can travel away. And as long as you don't have to meditate, you can make it be 3 experience per kill. And the way you do this is by having a couple of bonuses all stacked up. So you need, in this instance, we're going to be killing enemies using the crossbow underwater. So you need the Ursine Crossbow or the feline one. The Ursine one's better, it has that 5% critical hit chance. And they're both 15% experience from monsters. So either of the Witcher crossbows. This does unfortunately mean you can't do it in a fresh blood and wine only playthrough, so you can't start that at level 34 with more experience, with more ability points, and then do that. I tried that on the PS4, but unfortunately the crossbows aren't in your diagrams list, and when you go to find the chests, the diagrams are missing there as well. So instead, it has to be from a first playthrough. Now you can see I'm level 97 here, and that's because I've done loads of this grind, and it's actually very, very quick, especially relative to any other ways of leveling up. It's absolutely amazing. So you'll see you get like a phenomenal amount of experience doing this. It's way better than any other experience grind, and I would never have grinded to level 100 in a regular playthrough unless CoolHandLuke had found this, so massive kudos to him. So I'm just going to run through the build very quickly. What we'll want is we want the cockatrice and the Ekimmara decoction. The Ekimmara decoction is the major part of this, 10% vitality drain, it's what makes it work. But it's also useful to have the full Tesham Mutna set as well. Which restores vitality for each part of the set. So we've got the Tesham Mutna sword. We just put preservation on that because then you can keep the grindstone bonuses, might as well. We've got the Tesham Mutna mask, and then we've got all 4 pieces of the gear, and we have Levity on that as well to make it light armor, and that'll go some way to boosting the crossbow damage as well. Now for this, what we want is we want vitality to be as low as possible. Now here I've got the tissue transmutation glitch, so if you see here I have 7,900 vitality. We actually want that to be as low as possible, and you'll see how we do that. You can get over that. Tissue transmutation has a positive glitch where if you've ever used it, it will often just give you the vitality anyway, even if you don't have the skill equipped. As you can see, we don't here. So let's whip through the rest of the build. You need the ranged crossbow, one of the Witcher crossbows, which has 15% bonus experience from monsters, and you need one of the trophies, of which there are many, that are 5% experience from monsters. So, like for example, I've got the Garkan one, you can use the Goliath one, there are multiple trophies that give you that 5% boost. So that's 20% boost by itself, all well and good. And then if you get the well-read bonus from reading, either meditating at Corvo Bianco in the bed, or just by using the bookshelf, which is what we're going to do, you get 5% extra. So that's absolutely amazing. So here's what we would do. You would set up the build. I'll show you the skills soon, and then presumably you've got Corvo Bianco unlocked. You're doing this after you've done all of the separate quests and you've done all the side quests and everything, you're as high level as possible, so you should have the ability to use that bench, get all your meds back, and get an extra bonus to your alcohol. Use alcohol to meditate, get bonus 1 for each of your potions, and then instead of meditating, you want to use the bookshelf instead. And the reason for that is if you were to use the bed, that would give you 1,000 extra HP, which is normally great. But for this build, what you want to keep is you want to keep the vitality as low as possible and your crossbow damage as high as possible. And the reason for that is we're using Ekimmara and the Tesham Mutna bonus to recover health by killing the enemies whilst we're drowning, and the drowning damage is proportional to your maximum vitality. So if you have more health, you still lose it at the rate. It just means that you recover less because you're doing the same amount of damage, getting the same amount of health back from killing the enemies, but you have more vitality and you're losing it at the same rate, so you're actually losing more than you can overcome. So you want your vitality to be as low as possible. So for the build, we just got these skills here. These don't really matter. These ones here don't really matter. We're just using this with cat eyes, the mutation, as you can see. The ones that we really want, we want cold blood, and we want anatomical knowledge, and we want undying, and 5 points in all of those. You don't count as being in combat for any of this. We've tested loads of this stuff out between myself and CoolHandLuke. He actually tested a bunch of it as well already before he even made me aware of it. And basically, yeah, you don't count as being in combat, so there's a bunch of useful stuff like wartag decoction, which you'd think would be helpful, but it isn't, so yeah, don't worry. Then you want to just have those, and then you've got a couple of alchemy skills. You want heightened tolerance and acquired tolerance, just because we will be using decoctions and potions, just certain ones. Refreshment can be useful. Definitely don't have endure pain or tissue transmutation. Those are only there so that I can get down to synergy here. Did mess around with using adaptation and fast metabolism, but when you've got things set up correctly and you are using a lower amount of vitality, it's not really necessary. You do really want synergy to boost the 4 greater red mutagens though. So we've got 4 greater red mutagens, match them up with red skills as far as possible. I have all of the mutation slots open here, so that's where I've put the alchemy ones. But you could use one of these lose one of these superfluous red skills, take one of those out. You're losing a little bit of attack power, but it still works. And then 2 really important skills, cat school techniques for use with Levity. That just adds a bit of critical hit damage and things, which I believe applies to the crossbow. So that one's not crucial, but it might as well have it. And then the absolute mega important one is trick shot. So you can shoot 1 additional bolt before you must reload. Right, so that is everything sorted. So you want to meditate before you leave Tesham. So I've just meditated there at the, sort of meditated beforehand. I've got the grindstone bonuses and the well-read bonus up at the top left. You can see that. And from about anywhere from 2 to 4 p.m. You have to mess around with the time to get it to the right time, because this is really important. But I put it at about 3 to 4 p.m. and then fast travel to this area here, Ursine. So this is, you can see this area on the map. Here it is, just north of, if you go north from the end of the crossroads, you'll find this town of Ursine, and you go there. So we're going to fast travel there, and there are some really, really important things that we need to be aware of with this. I'm going to put a link to CoolHandLuke's videos. He's already covered this stuff in massive depth. They were really great videos. So I suggest you check them out for even more detail. I'm going to try and summarize it all in this one video with the key points. So we'll go through that. So the reason you want to meditate and travel to Tesham, from Tesham to here first, is to make sure that you don't get the tissue transmutation glitch. If you put on the decoctions and then fast travel to another area, it'll often give you the 1,000 extra vitality for each decoction, which we don't want, because we're trying to keep the vitality as low as possible, as I mentioned previously. So first, absolutely crucial, this must be done between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. So you do it overnight in the game, and that's because of how these spawns work. So if you fast travel from about 2 p.m. or 3 p.m, I did it from 4 just to be on the safe side. If it's the wrong time when you get to Velen, then you can just fast travel to one of the nearby fast travel points in Velen and then see what time it is. If it's after 6 p.m, that's great, you just get Roach and fast travel back. If it's still an hour or 2 away from being 6 p.m, fast travel back to Ursine, and you can just sort of manipulate it that way. So that's all really important. So here we've still got our well red, as you can see, which is really important, and then we've got the vitality, you can see there, has gone down to 5,900. So my crossbow damage is about 880, which is cool, and with the skill and the 50% bonus from cat eyes to the critical hit chance, you've got a really good chance of critical hitting as well. Toxicity is about 267, which is the normal amount, and it's more than enough for these purposes. So you can see here 8:03 p.m. We're after 6, and that's really important. So what you want to do is there's a perfect there are 4 spawn points for these drowners. One of them is a little bit glitched and causes them to come up on the bank and things. So what you're going to do is we're going to sit on the exact spot that stops the drowners from spawning on the glitched spawn point, and just use the crossbow whilst drowning to repeatedly kill drowners, and they get 3 XP per one. Because we're on just the story, that's very important, so just the story difficulty. And again, we've got 15% bonus experience from the crossbow, 5% from the trophy, 5% from the well read bonus. And that 25% actually means that it rounds up, the game seems to round up 2 experience to 2 point, so it would be 2 experience, and then the extra 25% would be 2.5. It seems to round that up to 3. That's what I think it's doing anyway. Main thing is that's what it does. Cool. Right, so on to the actual grind then. You always want to shoot twice and keep the crossbow out. Again, CoolHandLuke's gone into this in great detail. One thing I would add that's really useful are having these 4 potions at the bottom, so I'm just going to go over those. So kill a whale just to get yourself in the right space, get yourself in the right place and get you started off there. And then the other ones you want before you start drowning, that gives you a bit more time to get in the right position, get into the rhythm of killing the enemies. Then you want Superior White Rafford's decoction. We've got 4 of those instead of 3, which is useful. Superior Thunderbolt and Superior Maribor. Now Superior Thunderbolt is just add a bit of extra damage, get yourself even more recovery. Superior White Rafford is brilliant because if you're about to drown you get knocked off your spot by the drowners, as you'll see what I mean coming up shortly, you can use Superior Rafford, and the 3 seconds of invulnerability will stop you from drowning, so it actually applies to losing health from the drowning as well, and that gives you a bit more extra time to get back to where you need to be. So we're going to pop the Superior Thunderbolt, and then the last one is Superior Maribor. Now if you mess up, and as long as you've got the adrenaline and undying, you'll get your health back. So again, it gives you more chance to not lose out on all that experience because you really don't want to die. The game won't auto-save whilst you're drowning. It will only auto-save if you've still got breath, which you won't have for the vast majority of this. So we also want Superior Maribor. That means that we'll start off with an adrenaline point, get to 3 adrenaline points quicker. And I'm going to keep that in that slot so that if I do use Undying, by that time Superior Maribor will have run out. And if Undying triggers and it takes all my adrenaline, to make sure that I don't die if I get hit again or I don't kill drowners quick enough or get back to the surface or whatever, you can just pop a Superior Maribor, get back to killing the drowners. It'll give you an adrenaline point again and let you get back up to 3 adrenaline points in case you need to trigger Undying that 1 extra time. So I hope you followed all that. You watch it back, they'll put some info in the description I would think as well. What we're going to do now is go and get to the right spot. See, I've marked it on the map, and I suggest that once you find the correct spot and you can get the grind working, mark it with a custom point on your map so you can always get back there. So this is my custom point. You see I just got hit by a drowner there, but it's whatever. And I know this rock is the point you want to get to, and this will stop that 4th spawn point. So on mine, I just sit just here, ahead of where I put my little custom marker, and now we're just going to be killing the enemies. So that's all fine and dandy. But what you want is, before you run out of breath, before you start the grind, you want to make sure that you get the Ekimmara decoction on. So we're going to get that on. You can also, if you want, use the cockatrice decoction. Just give yourself an extra potion. See, it's just giving me the Thunderbolt and the killer whale and things back, just in case that's what you wanted. But you can see that vitality hasn't gone up. The vitality is still there, 5,000, because the glitch won't happen if you fast travel to Vellum first, then use the decoction. So try and do it in that order if you remember. And then the toxicity, we've still got plenty enough to use with the potions if we get in dire straits. So now we've got the kidney decoction. You can see we get the green flash there. I'm just using the lock on, and there are 3 spawn points. So there's one over there, and this is the most important one, the one to the left, and you'll see how that progresses. So if you're in this exact right spot, you can mark it with a custom marker in the map so that every time you come back from Tucson, it's easy to get back to, and you can just sit in the exact right spot. Now from this spot, the drowners will swim towards you instead of just, you know, aimlessly pottering about underwater, which is useful. But what you want to try and do is shoot that spawn point on the left, I find, as many times as possible. And that's because it'll often spawn multiple drowners at some of the spawn points. There's also one in the center, so there's these 3 spawn points, and if you stay quite low, they'll often not even hit you as they swim close to you. But the thing about having cat eyes is it allows the arrows to sort of shoot through and have like a piercing thing, so it'll shoot multiple drowners at once. So you're not even just getting 3 XP per shot, which is really cool sometimes. You're getting absolutely tons, because you're killing multiples sometimes when they spawn, or when an arrow continues travelling through after you hit the first one, and it might hit 2. So you can see here, let's have a look. So that's 252 experience there. You might have noticed how much I got in the short space of time already. And if we shoot a single one, 261. And there you go, 264. So you can see you get 3 per kill whilst you've got the well read and the trophy. And sometimes you'll even get multiples as well. So you can just tap in rhythm and you get used to it. See, that actually killed 2 at once. And you can see you get a phenomenal amount. So that's 288. I think we hit a couple there, 297, so like you're hitting what, 3 at once there. And I just keep firing at the same rhythm, so just 1, 2, and then the crossbow reloads, 1, 2. And I just keep firing even if I miss, just because you can't manually draw the crossbow. It saves you a ton of time if you just keep it out all the time. So even if there's not one immediately available, I use the lock on. And as you can see now, killer whale has run out and we're drowning at a really quick rate. Oh no! But because our vitality is quite low and we get a ton of health back, and the drowners continually keep spawning between these times, you will generally be alright, and it won't even matter. So there you go. The potion toxicity has worn off, and you can see that superior Maribor has worn off as well. So if I was to get in trouble, for example, like there, I just lost the rhythm whilst I was talking, so I've just moved off my spot. Now it's going to take me a little bit of time to get back. Might even get hit by a drowner, and it's going to throw me off my rhythm and slow things down a little bit. So if that happened, I could just pop the white Rafford, if you notice there, and it just gave me that split second, that small bit of invulnerability even to the drowning, and let me get back onto the spot. Now very easily got 3 adrenaline points as well. But the other thing to bear in mind is that if you did mess up and you stopped killing things, you could just have undying because you've got those 3 adrenaline points, and you'll very quickly be able to get it back. So let's see here. So say that drowner had hit me, right? And I get knocked off my spot. Oh no, I'm drowning. I've not got things in time. I've forgot to pop a potion right now, so undying should go off. And there you go. Now I'm in trouble because I've just used undying and I don't have my adrenaline back. But as you can see, I just popped superior Maribor straight away, and it lets me just get back to the right spot, get back to killing my drowners, and it gives me that little bit of time to recover. So you can always pop the white Rafford and the superior Maribor, and with refreshment, and then get back onto your killing, and it'll normally let you balance things out. You can also make a break for the surface if you until you're absolutely sure what you're doing with this grind. So if you die in undying triggers, you don't want to lose all your progress, especially if it's been like half an hour or whatever, which is an absurd like 2 or 3 levels worth with this grind. So you might not want to lose that progress. You can always just head back to the surface, get your breath back, heal yourself up, and then go from there. So the majority of the time, if I lose the lock on like that, you can auto just keep tapping anyway, and the auto fire will normally hit things until you can click the right stick in and then get that aiming back on there as well. Now again, you'll find your own rhythm, you find what makes it easier, and CoolHandLuke in his videos, he has some tips on this as well, but for me personally, I can't remember exactly what he said about it, but I always try and focus on the left hand spawn point, because you're more likely to get multiples from that, I find, and that's often the one that'll let the multiple drowners spawn, get multiple kills, and just keep it as quick as possible. Now, I cannot stress how much quicker than every other experience grind this is. It's quite amazing what CoolHandLuke has found, so massive kudos to him. Thank you so much for pointing it out. And it's finally allowed me to get level 100 in a first playthrough, which would have been about a 40 or 45 hour grind at 1 hour per level, with the insanely boring dog grind as well. And instead, I've done it, and it really didn't feel like it took too long at all. I've just done it over a couple of sessions. It tends to be about 30 to 40 minutes before, depending on what time the game is, when you start. By the time it reaches 6 AM and the spawn stop, I find it tends to be about 30 or 40 minutes. So it also actually pairs up really well with just doing a couple of levels in short bursts, and even better, you'll never have the well read or the decoctions run out before you come to needing to fast travel back to Tesham, because it's reached 6 AM in the game anyway. So yeah, absolutely fantastic job. Well done, CoolHandLuke. Thank you so much. I hope that if anybody does want to do this grind, if you wanted to say just do it for even 2 sessions of it, to go from level sort of 52 to 60 or whatever, to have level 100 richer gear, it makes that a lot quicker. And if you want to be a mad lad and get a level 100 in a first playthrough, then you may even find that it doesn't feel like too much of a grind, and it's worth putting in a couple of hours for that. So I mean, I just thought this was absolutely brilliant. Got just a few little refinements here, but most of the ingenuity and credit indeed goes to CoolHandLuke. I will put this in a playlist, assuming I can get it actually uploaded to YouTube properly, because Twitch has been a bit annoying recently for that. Yeah, and I hope you found that useful, and you know, give him a shout out in the comments, go and like his videos and things, because yeah, I'm all about that sort of credit, and I think that's really good. So let's just have a quick look. So you can see here from well read, I've had well read on 10 minutes, so we've been doing this about 10 minutes. I've already got half a level, so you know, it's just fantastic. You get a ton of experience from it, and I've not even been doing it too optimally, because like I say, when you get more focused on, when you get used to shooting this spawn point and prioritizing this before the drowners even move, you'll often be getting multi-kills as you go, and you can just see there. So we're again 1032, gone incredibly quickly with that, and it's just a great experience grind, by far the best in the game I find, and the only drawback is that you can't do it from a BW only save. I haven't tried it in a Hearts of Stone only save. I doubt it'll work, but I will check that later. Maybe put it in the description afterwards if I do that, just to double check. So yeah, amazing experience grind. Thank you, CoolHandLuke, and I'll just try and put the details in the description so that you can follow it along as like a pseudo written guide. May do it as the classic Reddit post, as I used to do with the Final Fantasy stuff. Yeah, and we'll have a look. So thanks everybody, and I'm just going to carry on killing some drowners, getting my level 100, and then I'm going to play a New Game Plus playthrough. And yeah, that'll be really cool. Starting at level 100, you can do the whole game and the entire order you want on New Game Plus, with everything being absolute max level, and scaled to level 100 starting, which is really cool. Right, so everybody stay safe on the path, and please like, comment and subscribe, because it helps me out if you enjoy the content. Thank you very much, and all stay safe and well. I'll see you later.